big on social media. I mean, you have quite a following for many different reasons. Because, well, people knew you as their teachers when you were in Ethiopia, and you were a great surgeon. Whether somebody's trained under you or not, people know your name. You are quite well celebrated and recognized in Ethiopia, but also now after you've moved to the US, you still continued that work and you do a lot of social media engagement. So, what do you think could be the role of social media in the career of a physician? You might not necessarily be doing it to, get recruit patients or whatever, but what role can it have other than that? And then what are ethical issues that we need to consider when we're using social media?
Social media is quite interesting, by the way. It's one of my favorite activities these days. It gets me entertained to a certain extent, and I love what I do on social media. It's impactful. I see the impact in many different ways. So, when did I start? Let me give you a little bit of background on how I started, why I started it, and things like that, because that may give a good insight for those individuals who are just having the dilemma: shall I start it? Shall I do it? Shouldn't I
Mm.
do it? This kind of stuff. So when I was in Ethiopia back in 2012 and 13, I don't know if you remember Abraham. Do you know Abraham? The Abraham from Hakim.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
surgeon, Abraham Araya, right? Abraham Araya. He was my student, so we were very close. So I was in Sweden, he's in Ethiopia. We were discussing about creating some educational contents for medical students on my Facebook page. So I opened a Facebook page before even Hakim was popular, before even Hakim was conceived, actually. So a Facebook page, but that was dedicated for medical students. So FSH surgery. So the flagship name, FSH, Fikadesilasse Henok. So FSH surgery. So I named it FSH surgery, and I had a number of followers on that one. So I used to share all the imaging I have, like it could be an X-ray or a CT scan or a case scenario, and I expect medical students to respond to those questions, and we engage on that. And that's how I started my engagement on social media. At that time, I had a YouTube, but I never utilized YouTube. So I was here and there posting certain things on Facebook, but it didn't go well. I mean, sometimes I get lazy and all that. Sometimes, even the medical students were not as such engaging on it. But anyway, it used to exist. Then fast forward came the era of COVID-19. So COVID was a crazy time. Nothing was discovered at that time. The disease entity was not fully understood. People were misinformed. I had relatives who washed sheep before Easter because thinking that bagum መታጠብ አለበት
I
ምናምን
love
ተብሎ
that.
all crazy stuff, right? So I was just watching, especially what is going on in Ethiopia on the social media, what is circulating and all that. For some time, I was restraining myself because if I talk about how bad the disease is, how it is killing people and all that, I might frustrate my family. My mom was in Ethiopia, so she was worried because they hear in the news that many people are dying in the US. They were scared about my safety, and it's obvious, it's natural, it's given. So I had to protect my family by staying quiet to a certain extent, right? So if I came out and, oh, COVID is a killer, blah blah, oh my God, my mom will be worried day and night. So I didn't want to do that. So for some time I was restraining myself, but after a certain period I couldn't. You know what I mean? Things were getting out of hand. So then I said, okay, I have to do what I can do. At least I have to come out and pass on certain information to the general public. So I was just sitting in front of my phone, going live on my Facebook page. Only few people watch me, and that's fine. I never cared about the number of people who are watching, but at least some people are learning something. Then people pushed me to go to YouTube. Why don't you go to YouTube? Because many people at that time were on YouTube because, like, people, I mean, each country there was curfew, people were not working, they were staying home. So many people were really day and night. Majority of people were on YouTube. So people are on YouTube. Go to YouTube and start working, posting your videos, uploading your videos on YouTube. Then I started going live on YouTube. Only 20 people watching, 10 people watching, 50 people watching. I never cared, and I started taking questions. And unfortunately, YouTube wouldn't give you the opportunity to add guests in the discussion. So I came up with a solution. I created a Google account, and Google would give you a number, and then people can call you, because I cannot give my personal cell phone, and I will be lifeless. So I downloaded this Google number. Then I gave my Google number to the public. So people started calling from Europe, from Ethiopia, from Middle East, from all over the US. That was encouraging. I got encouraged. Then I started taking questions live, answering questions live. So I started interacting with the general public. So then, for a certain period, we were focused only on COVID-19. And then people started they started becoming fed up with COVID-19. It was too much. The mainstream was COVID. The doctors were talking about COVID. Fekadesilassie is preaching about COVID. So people started pushing back to a certain extent. Oh, you guys are talking about COVID. We are tired of it. So that was not the reason why I changed my mind to the certain extent, but it had an impact to a certain extent. Okay, so people are no more interested to hear about COVID. So why don't we start talking about other things? Because we have a lot of things to be addressed as a health education in terms of prevention and all that. Then I said, I had that passion, right? So I started back in 2012, 13, came to social media to educate the medical student community. That didn't go well, but now I had that passion. And 2 times I appeared on national TV, ETV, on Tena Obebeto, and I taught one day on esophageal cancer, another time on intestinal obstruction. So I am kind of interested to come forward on social media and teach, but I didn't have the resources. And I don't want to wait for other people to give me the chance to speak. You know what I mean? That is the key. So, if I have to be on a national TV, that happens maybe once in a year, because they have
Yeah.
their own agenda, they have their own schedule. If I have to go to another YouTuber, he or she has her own agenda. They are not going to give me the platform every time. Why don't Fikadesilasse has his own platform? That was the motto, by the way. Then I decided, so I have to build my own media, my own platform. When I feel coming out and talking about something, I need to have the stage. So I started setting the stage. That was a mindset. So then I started my YouTube. The YouTube started growing. Some people also helped me promote my channel and all that. So the subscribers grew. So once it is above 1,000, you can, start your own live stream on your phone, blah, blah. So all those, hurdles were fulfilled. Then I started engaging on YouTube. Then comes the turning point again in 2022, I think, December 2022. Now it's almost 3 years now. So people were asking me, why don't you come to TikTok? I always disliked TikTok because of rumors. It is not because of bad experience, but people talk about, oh, TikTok, only kids, blah, blah, no, nothing important happening on TikTok. So I never dared to even create an account. I never had it until 2022. Then people started pushing me again, just like they pushed me to come on YouTube. They were just suggesting, why not TikTok? Then, okay, I said, I have to be, in life, you have to be open-minded. Okay, let me see it. Then I created an account. I saw the pattern. It's very impactful. Interestingly, one day I created a content, and it's about a guy whom I met in the emergency department who was diagnosed with metastatic cancer. He never knew he has a metastatic cancer. He came with abdominal pain. Boom. CT was done. He has metastatic cancer everywhere. Oh, he came with back pain and belly pain. Then they scanned his spine. They scanned his belly. He has metastatic cancer to the vertebra, to his liver and all that, you name it. It was shocking. And that guy had to call his employer that same afternoon to resign. So it was a shocker for me. Hey, Doc, I found out today. I never knew I had this problem. I was just complaining about back pain for a long time. It's life changing. Now I have like maybe a couple of months remaining. So I just hung up my phone right now. I just resigned. That was a shocker for me as a physician. Then
Wow.
I went to my office. I recorded this video. And most people, I don't know, for some reason, we like hearing tragedies, right? ኮሜዲ ከማወራልሽ ይልቅ ሀዘን ነገር ለቅሶ ነገር ሲወራ people start listening አይደል? የሆነ ሀዘን ለቅሶ ነገር ይወዳል ሰው መሰለኝ።
Yeah, በተለይ በእኛ culture, you're right.
በእኛ culture, that's our culture. The majority of that, I don't know why we like tragedy, hearing about tragedy, because I don't know. Excuse me, but this is my observation. So I talked about that case, how I was shocked by this story. Guess what? I recorded it while I was working. It's just a 3-minute video or something. In the evening, boom! It was seen by 300,000 times or something. It was exploding. My follower was exploding. My
Wow.
view was exploding. Oh my God! I didn't expect that. It's just like maybe less than 10 days or something since I started and joined TikTok. It's one of the very few videos. Maybe the second or the third video. It was boom, boom. Oh my God. Then I said, okay, this is impactful. Then probably this is going to be my platform. I decided. Since that day, I decided to continuously post content on TikTok, not to become a media celebrity, but just to have a meaningful impact, because I have been doing it, right? I have been doing it since 2020. So for almost 2.5 years, I have been doing it. But unfortunately, whatever content you create on YouTube, go back to my YouTube account. Maybe the view is 7,000 maximum, or sometimes 700, sometimes 1,000. It's heartbreaking. I feel amazed. How is the generation? How is the society not giving a priority to their health related information? How is the society not choosing their health, maintaining their health as number one choice? It's always amazing. So, but now, I want to have a meaningful impact. That was the reason why I was doing this. So TikTok was a game changer on that regard. So then I constantly doing and uploading videos, various topics, uploading things. And then, there are videos where they have been seen, watched more than 1.2 million times, 500,000 times, 300,000, sometimes 10,000. It varies. People pick a certain topic. The 1.2, I would think you'd be interested to know which video was watched 1.2 million
Which
times.
one?
It was about hemorrhoids.
That is actually funny.
Hemorrhoids, of all the topics, kintarot. For many reasons, this entity is misunderstood and also quite feared in the population, as you know. And also
That is
our
very
friends
true.
from alternative medicine and Bahal
Oh,
Haki,
yeah.
they made it popular for, mainly with a misinformation and misunderstanding. People
Yeah.
think it's just like a cancer, but it's just a dilated blood vessel. But people would tell you crazy story. Oh my God, they took out this kind of, something came out and it has a
Oh,
human
yeah.
legs. Oh my God, what kind of legs are these people in fantasy? So it's a famous topic. So it was my video of all my videos. It's the one which is still leading, record breaking 1.2 million times.
Wow. I
So
guess
anyway,
you found the heart of Ethiopian problem.
probably, yeah. So then, social media came my thing. I invest my time. Not only that, uploading videos is one of the things, but I go live. I told you how I started going live. It was on Facebook, then on YouTube using the Google phone number, and then now on TikTok using TikTok Live. So maximum, I have spent about 7 hours live. It's tiresome. I feel tired. Because people after people, person after person, a patient after person, a person after person, an individual after an individual comes to ask questions, and they ask me multitude of questions. And fortunately, I'm a surgeon, I'm an internist, I have quite a broad understanding of the majority of the disease processes, so I can answer fairly, I can say. But sometimes if it needs a referral, or like if I have to advise people to go see, talk to their doctor, always what I do is I always encourage them to go and see their primary care physician, or I always encourage them to go and see whoever I think is going to help them. If it is an orthopedic surgeon, I tell them to go to orthopedic surgeon. If it is a urologist, go to urologist. Give them direction. I never prescribe medications and all that. So ethical things, you have to be responsible, because like, when I come out, if you have seen my TikTok account, it says Dr. FSH, and በአማርኛ ደግሞ in Amharic, I have written Dr. Fekadesilasse. Transparency starts from your profile. Who is Fekadesilasse? I have already made a video, 3 or 4 minutes video about who I am. What is my background? What did I do? Where did I get trained? Where am I practicing? What's my background knowledge? What's my background experience? I have already made it clear to people so that they can judge. Whatever information they get, they would judge. They have their own judgment, right? Shall I trust this guy? Can I trust this guy? So for that reason, I have already made my credentials available in a very short video. So any individuals who have dedicated their time, or who are planning to dedicate their time to share their expertise, they have to be transparent. So be transparent. Write your full name, like Dr. Anana Fekadesilasse Henok. That's accountability. Accountability starts from there. And tell people who you are. What's your expertise? What's your level of education? What's your scope of practice? Because some people, sometimes they shock you. They talk like a cardiologist. When you ask them, probably they have passed 1 day in a cardiac hospital, in front of a cardiac hospital. Nothing more than that. But they are bold enough to talk like a cardiologist. You know what I mean? That is unethical, because you may misinform them. And unfortunately, the downside from our public, they don't really do a background check. They just take every information at a face value. Somebody is talking, that is a reality for them. They start practicing it. Somebody is talking about one thing, the BS, they listen, they think that's the ultimate solution, they start practicing in their own health. Hell no, you don't have to do that. So individuals who are doing it, they should be accountable. They should tell the public what their expertise is, what their educational background is, and all that. And the other thing is, when you are like, coming out in public to talk about something, you have to read. For example, if I have to do a video about, let's say, fractures, then I have to refresh my memory about fracture. How is fracture managed? What are the treatment options? I cannot really talk about a science which I heard or read 20 years ago when I was an undergraduate medical student. I need to have an up-to-date information. So before you turn the camera on, just refresh your memory, read about that stuff, see, organize your thoughts, come and talk. When people listen to your recommendations, to what you are, the facts you are stating, nobody's gonna judge you. It's your reputation at the same time, because whatever video I upload, you listen to it. And you judge me as you are my junior, but you are an academician, you are a well-celebrated orthopedic surgeon. If I'm talking about fracture and I'm talking about nonsense, you would say, what is happening with Fekadesilasse? I mean, I thought he is a seasoned physician. Why is he talking like this? There is nothing like this. This is outdated. This is not up to date. This is not how I treat my fractures. I mean, you judge me. I don't want to be judged, because I'm at a front line. I'm being judged by many.
Yeah.
So be responsible. And the other thing is, be ethical. By being ethical means you have to be respectful. You have to have compassion, even though you are not providing a direct care. At least people are trusting you, trusting your judgment, trusting your recommendations. So be respectful, and be passionate, be compassionate, and be responsible at the same time, because people trust you and they may employ whatever recommendations you tell them. So don't simply say it just for the sake of saying it. And if it is beyond your scope, and if you cannot really give them full direction. Be honest. If you don't know, be honest. That is being ethical at the same time. So if people ask me some information which I don't know, I tell them I don't know. I'm so sorry, I have never heard of this science, or I do not know about this thing. I don't know what is being done these days for this kind of problem. So I will double check. If you come back next time, I will read about the subject matter and I can give you some idea. But in the meantime, if I have to go get some help, please go get some help. Just like, when you call 911, or if you call a hospital or a clinic, what do they tell you? There is this automated message which comes, right? It says, if it is an emergency, call 911. If it's an emergency, go to the emergency department. Or if it is a really emergency, life-threatening, call 911, because don't take risks.
Yeah.
Don't wait for me until the clinic. Don't wait until the clinic calls you back. Don't wait until the doctor's office reaches out to you. If it is a real emergency, call 911. An ambulance should be in your house. So that is being responsible, that is being ethical. So if it is beyond your scope, and if you feel that individual need to seek a medical advice, tell them to do it right away. Tell them, be honest, okay? So these are some of the things you should do. And don't expose other people's, experience or other people's identifiable information. You cannot do that. In the US, there is what is known as EPA. So that protects patients' privacy. If you come and expose your patient's privacy in public, you will lose your license. You can't practice medicine in the US. Those kind of things may not be existing in Ethiopia, but you shouldn't say, oh, Dr. Anania was my patient, by the way, when I was in Black Lion, and she told me she has this kind of problem. That is PS. That's unethical. That can potentially cost your practice. So you cannot do that. But you can learn something out of your patient's experience, and without any identifiers, you can share those experiences. Let's say I have shared a couple of times about my patients, my encounter with my patients, but there is no identifier included in that one. For example, I just told you about the guy who came with belly pain and vertebral metastasis. I just shared the story without any identifier whatsoever. So you have to always, maintain ethical decency. And the other thing which I am seeing nowadays, thanks to the mini revolution amongst Ethiopian professionals, healthcare professionals recently, many people are now resorting to social media, right? Back in the days, there was no, as such, many people who are active on social media. When I started it, we were very few. I can confidently say that I was the first person who started live streaming and taking questions live from the public, probably next to Tena Obabeto. Probably that's the only program I know where a physician comes and takes a direct question live from the public. So on my own on my own platform, I would say confidently I was the first person to do it. So now many people are coming. I'm proud. I'm so happy. That was my intention. I encouraged many people, by the way. I encouraged my seniors to come and be my guest. Most people shy away. Your dear brother, my best friend Azarias Kasaon, one of the renowned neurosurgeons in Ethiopia, I was fortunate to have him. We had a discussion. So few people, young, progressive people, agreed to sit with me for an interview just like this, and we discussed on cases. But to the majority of my experience, most people were shying away. Oh, they would tell, oh my God, I am not a media person. Oh, I don't think I will be able to do that, blah, blah. They shy away. Then I will take the topic and I do it myself. You know what I mean? So many young people are coming forward. Some things which I do not think are appropriate, I still see them happening, and I wish they change them. For example, you can promote yourself. There is nothing wrong to promote your services you provide, your expertise and all that. It creates a big opportunity. If people know you, people ask me to come to my clinic. Fortunate or unfortunate, I'm not in Ethiopia. So people ask me, where is your address? I want to see you. I want to come to your clinic, doctor. I have this kind of problem. Exactly whatever you mentioned is me, and I want to see you. Then, they ask me for an address, and I simply put the American flag. I feel sad. I wish I was out there to help my public. So what I'm trying to say is, Of course, knowingly or unknowingly, you are promoting yourself. It creates an opportunity for people to know you, to know your services, to know your expertise. But don't abuse that. Don't abuse that is my little advice. For example, okay, you are talking about headache, right? So let's give an example. So I'm talking about headache. I'm mentioning, my migraine. It behaves like this. A cluster headache. These are the manifestations. Blah blah. And let's say a patient joins you live and they ask you, "Hey, doctor, I have this kind of pain and it has been going on for a month. I tried these medications and all that." If I am really there to help that people or those people or followers, you name it, I should be able to address those questions right away, right? So I should give you the full answer to the best of my capacity. I may not answer everything and I may not give you the prescription, but I have to tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And if there are home remedies, I should tell you what to do. And if there are like over the counter medications you can try, you can potentially try, I should advise you like that. If you have to make lifestyle changes, I should tell you about those things. And at the end of the day, if I believe that you need to do imaging or you have to see a neurologist, I should tell you you should do this kind of tests, but I cannot order it, so you need to see a neurologist. So it has to be full package. If I am available, I have to. But I see some people, oh, if you want me to help you, contact me in Telegram. What does that mean? That means you have to pay me. Okay, come on Telegram, you sign up for my services and you pay 200 birr or 300 birr, and then only then I can provide you those information. Why should you do that? Because the Ethiopian public is just almost 120 million. How many people are you helping live? Maybe 10 people, right? The rest of the people, they can still sign up for your services. But those fortunate people who manage to talk to you on your live session, why don't you give them full information? And there are also maybe 200 people, 300 people watching, listening. Why don't you just give the full package? It's not gonna take your money away. I mean, in fact, people may not be satisfied with whatever information you gave them live. They still would be interested to see you. So that means they will still end up signing up for your services. So sometimes I see people doing that. Sometimes, especially with the chronic illnesses, I see some bold individuals telling people, "Oh, you have diabetes, right? Okay, sign up with me. In 3 months, you will be a different person. Weight loss, right? So sign up with me in 3 months. I will give you the diet menu and I will tell you about the exercise schedule. 3 months, you are a different person." No, this is too romantic. I wish that is true, right? So I wish
Yeah.
that is true, but it is not. I mean, type 2 DM to develop it takes years.
Oh yeah.
It causes damage over the years. And to reverse it, it takes a while. Isn't it reversible? I agree, it's reversible. But would you reverse it overnight? My dear, you can't. So be real, be open, because you will frustrate people. You tell them, you give them a false promise. Within 3 months, your weight is gonna go. It may happen to a certain individuals. Bingo, if you can achieve it. What if you don't achieve it? There are consequences with it. People may get fed up and they may not be interested to see you anymore. So let's be logical, let's be ethical, let's be realistic when we are advising people just for the sake of promotion. Oh, I mean, you will do this, I'll give you a meal prep, I'll give you a diet, I mean, exercise schedule, blah, blah. In 3 months, diabetes is gone, you will throw away your medication. It's so romanticized, fantasized.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy for me. So people think, oh my God, I'm going to throw away my insulin. I'm going to throw my metformin. In 3 months, bingo, I have to sign up to this doctor. They get hooked up with you and they don't get the results they wish to get. So this kind of approach,
Mm.
those individuals who are doing it, if they are mindful and change it, that would be great. But promoting yourself has no problem. I am promoting myself one way or another. If I open a clinic, definitely all those people who are following me will be my clients one way or
Mm.
another. All right. So promotion is not a problem as far as you do it ethically, as far as you're not misusing it. So social media is interesting, Dr. Anania.
Yeah, I agree 100%. All those things. And I think it's going to take us a while to really get used to it, to find that sweet spot where you're helping people, but at the same time, you're remaining ethical, and, moral, to be honest. Some things are not just about ethics, there's just moral issues, right? So hopefully we'll figure it out. Okay, so on pertaining to social media, you also do a lot of philanthropic work, because I do watch some of your lives, and when I do, I see a lot of philanthropic work. Um, Most of them are based, but you do a lot of philanthropic work. So have you always? I mean, I understand that you're a doctor, so you're kind of like a carer. You're a giver by nature, but you also do a lot of philanthropy. So has that always been something you've always done, or is this something you started doing after you matured? How did it come about?
I think ልብ ከገዛው እንኳን ቆይቻለሁ መሰለኝ ታያለሽ ይሰማል አይደል ልብ ከገዛው ቆይቻለሁ መሰለኝ yeah, you're right. I mean, these kind of things, they just do not develop overnight, right? So one way or another, it has to stay with you for a long time. You cannot simply wake up one day and say, oh, I have to collect money to help this kind of people. You don't do it. So my parents, they are kind people. They are my mentors, probably, outside of medical schools. I do have mentors, which is my dad and my mom. My father has passed, but my mom is still with me. So these people, they worked hard. So they are my mentors. They sacrifice their life for us, for the family, to make sure that we get the necessary education, whatever we need should be fulfilled, even though it's costing their, primary personal interests. So, I mean, you see it from them when they do kind stuff around for people around us and all that. So, it gets imprinted in your heart one way or another unknowingly. And growing up since the age of 11, I also participated highly in Miskaya Zunan Madhanela Monastery. I know that place. You know that place, right? So the church located above the AAU 6 Kilo campus when you are heading towards American Embassy.
Yeah.
So I grew up in that church. So, I mean, those people who live there, the monks, they are spiritual people. And you see them, you watch them doing many kind of things for needy individuals, right? So you understand the meaning of doing something kind, But would you do it right away? Probably not, because you need to have the opportunity. You should be able to raise funds. You should have the opportunity, the privilege to do it. So how did I end up doing it? Because maybe the social media gave me the opportunity and the privilege to acquire the necessary funding. We can say that way, because I can't afford giving 1 million out of my pocket, or I can't afford giving 100,000 Ethiopian birr and distribute it to other people. So of course I have to involve other people, right? So we have been engaged in many philanthropic works. If you want me to mention some of the work.
Yes, please. Would love to know.
Yeah. So one of the things we have done, for example, there was this lady who was living in Saudi Arabia. She didn't have a living permit to live there. So she came to my live stream, and I was with Binyam Shittai. You know him. He used to be a pastor. Now he's baptized again, and he has joined the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. So sometimes we go live together. I go to his TikTok live, and we do exactly what I do in my own live stream. So she came crying one day, and we had to stop what we were doing, and we listened to her. So number one, she had a gallbladder surgery which got complicated. She had a CBD injury, and bile was leaking. She had a drainage tube. So they were panicking. She's a mother of a small child, a small kid, an infant. And the husband was terrified. She was terrified. She doesn't have a legal permit to live in Saudi Arabia. She couldn't get access to surgery. So they couldn't afford. They were asking them more than 300,000 Ethiopian birr. So then we stopped everything and we pleaded to the 700 people who were watching us. So then we asked people, then I gave a little bit myself. Then we asked her, okay, I will contribute this much, and why don't you contribute? Then people, started throwing money, which is in US dollars. So we raised about 400 something thousand in a single sitting. It's in about an hour or two. And then
Wow,
some people
amazing.
also sent about 200,000 Ethiopian birr with Ethiopian account. Total about 600,000, something like that was raised. Then the next step was like, she went to the hospital. They couldn't offer her because ኢቃማ ነው መሰለኝ የሚባለው living permit. You don't have living
Okay.
permit, so it's gonna be a very complicated surgery. We're not gonna do it. You have the money, but we're not gonna do it. Then she has the money. We raised it for her, but they are not gonna offer it. That means she has to go to Ethiopia one way or another. So to go to Ethiopia, it was not possible because she was living in Saudi illegally, and she may face prison. Then we had to reach out to the Ethiopian ambassador who is based in Mecca. How do we do it? Social media. Social media gives you power. So we just asked, are there people living in Saudi? 2-3 people came up. Yes, we are here. They joined us. And then Bini had connections, and they gave him the ambassador's contact number. So I am raising money. Bini was calling the ambassador's office and people who can potentially help us. Then we were able to get a hold of the ambassador. So how did we do it? Through the power of social media. We did it over TikTok. Then they told us she can come to Mecca. She went to Mecca. They processed the exit permit. Within 3 days, she was in Addis. Then once she's in Addis, then we have to link her with someone. Then, I am a surgeon. I have surgeon colleagues. So I reached out to Dr. Zaki. Dr. Zaki because he was your teacher, right?
Yeah.
At Gondar. He's a very well-known surgeon. He's a very famous guy. He's a great personality at the same time, a good colleague of mine. I reached out to him. He was more than happy to help her. So she went there. The money was in hand. We have already raised a fund. How? On social media. She can safely be in Ethiopia. How? Through social media. I connected her with Dr. Zaki, and then he did the surgery beautifully. She survived. She went home. If I play the voice message I get from her father, from her husband, and from herself, is very heartwarming. You know what I mean? Very fortunate, all the blessings. She's a Muslim, philanthropy. If you do philanthropy, it's supposed to be for all the humankind. I'm an Orthodox Christian, but this lady was a Muslim, and I never cared. Why should I care? I mean, I committed my life to help humanity, and philanthropy shouldn't be based on faith. It shouldn't be based on political opinion. It shouldn't be based on the country of origin or ethnic origin or something like that. So this lady, I will send those voicemail. I have to go back in time, and probably if I find them, I will share it with you. Just if it inspires you somehow. It's heartwarming, it's rewarding. This is one good example. There are many individuals where I seamlessly helped. For example, it could be connecting with a physician. So they ask me, where shall I go for this problem? And then I tell them, I'm not promoting anyone, but for this kind of problem, I can recommend someone. And you can go meet them. This hospital, this is the name of the person. Sometimes, if it is really a burning issue, I ask a permission, and I also give the phone number of the physician to them. They get connected, and then after I forget it, after a couple of months, they join me. Okay, hey, Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, what's your question for today? And they tell me, no, We don't have a question today. We are here to thank you. Why do you want to thank me? Because if you remember 2 months ago, I asked you this kind of question and you connected me with Dr. So and so in Addis. Now the problem is solved and I am so happy. Thank you so much. So this is philanthropy by itself, connecting people, directing people where they should go, raising funds. And one day when I wake up, it was 2018, September 1, Maskaramand, the New Year, Ethiopian New Year. I was home, I was lying down, and I was scrolling my phone through my Facebook page. This reel came, and there is this lady who helped people in Amhara region around Bahar Dar, the surroundings of Bahar Dar in southern Gondar. And I saw the videos and I was touched. And those people, they are living in an absolute poverty. And I asked myself, what did I contribute to my nation, to my people? Did I help someone who is really in need like these poor individuals? Probably the answer is no. Then I asked myself, why don't I use my privilege, my opportunity on social media, raise funds, give it to this lady, she can distribute the funds. We did that. We managed to collect around 190,000 Ethiopian birr. We sent it to her. If I trust somebody, I trust somebody. And I tell my followers, you give me the money, I'm going to send it to this lady. And I showed them the videos she's posting on the social media. This is the reason why I'm asking you for money. If you are kind enough, give me the money. If you believe me, if you trust me, I'm going to send it to her. She will distribute the money the way she wants it to be distributed. We did that. I have all the videos. I will share some of them. Probably I shared some of them on my TikTok page. You can see them if you are interested. I'm talking to anyone who is watching our conversation now as well. So we helped those individuals. Then we did it for the second time. We raised around 220,000 birr. So that money we split it to three. There is one blind lady who was really desperate. She was about to commit suicide. She reached out to us. She wanted us to help her. And she is not asking for money. She was just asking for an opportunity. She graduated with very great distinction from Haromaya University, but nobody dared to give her an opportunity for this poor young lady, just because she is blind. So she came to us. She sent us a voice message crying that she is contemplating about committing a suicide. Then we say, no, we have to find some way. We have to be able to help this lady get some job, or if she can create her own, opportunities, we have to help her. Then, we sent 30,000 out of it for her. And there are people also who reached out to me personally, and they personally supported her, other than the money we collected. So we sent 30,000 out of the 220. Then the rest was given to this lady because she needed the money for follow-up. The lady from Saudi, she needed money for follow-up and she didn't have it. She lives around Dassie region. So we sent 20,000 for her, almost 50,000 goes. Then the remaining 170,000, 70,000 birr, we gave it to Zaki, Mama Zannash, Zaki Mama Zannash. So he gave 10,000 for 7 needy individuals in Addis Ababa. There are many people they live in Addis, but they are in absolute poverty. So the rest 100,000 Ethiopian birr was sent to our friend in Makale, Dr. Biniam is his name. He distributed the 100,000 birr in Makale region, those people who come with illness in the hospital and all that. So I shared some of the videos on my TikTok just out of transparency and accountability. And I want to know people where exactly the money has gone. So we do this kind of philanthropy. I love it. So my next plan is I have been planning to do this, but for some reason it didn't happen. I'm planning to open some sort of NGO, non-profit organization here in the US, and probably down the road we will get it, registered in Ethiopia as well. And we need to do something at a bigger scale. And mainly, I want to help Black Lion, number one. I mean, it's my home institution, it's my alma mater. And not only that, Black Lion is iconic, right, in our Ethiopian healthcare. So it needs to be supported in many different ways. So I want to do that. I'm passionate about doing that. That's one of my goals. So I hope God will help me. So the philanthropy work will continue. So this is
Yeah.
not something which developed overnight. I have been working with people with me who have been conducting missions, right? So especially as a
Mhm.
cardiac surgeon, most of the surgeries, especially the open heart surgery, we used to do was with people, with individuals from different corners of the world who are doing philanthropy. So I appreciate that. I know the impact. So it's the impact of many people over the years, starting from my family, the way I grew up, the Miskayazon and monastery, abbots or like, monks. And also now, while I'm practicing, people doing philanthropy. So that is the aggregate all of this experience, and social media is giving me the power, and I love it. That's what I want to say.
That is fantastic. Oh my gosh, that is so inspirational. I'm inspired right now.
You need
But
to
I
do it. I mean, you are doing it already. This is social media. You have been interviewing people, well accomplished individuals. That by itself is mentorship. That by itself is an influence.
yeah,
So you are in the right track. You are you are
appreciate
you are putting your own impact.
yeah,
Keep
appreciate
it
that.
up. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Bamaringa, there's a saying in Amharic, "Yaloni satan fugay palub na mipalo," right? So
Exactly.
if what you
Exactly.
have is not cash money but connection, if you know people, there is somebody who is lost, confused to as to what they have to do in life, and maybe they would watch this interview with you and say, oh my god, there was this doctor I watched, he went through 16 years of training and then another 11 years of training, he didn't give up, he went through, you know what I mean? So it will inspire someone and change their life course. And you mentioned about some mental health challenges that one of the ladies that you mentioned, the a disabled lady that you helped. But I think we have the same issue, especially amongst the health professional circle, and specifically people studying medicine, students studying medicine, because of recent developments that have taken place, and we have a lot of mental health issues. So, what advice do you have for someone like that who is either in training or just completed their training and don't know what to do? They can't find a job. There are certain sad realities of the current times that we have in our country. The economy is getting, everything is getting expensive. They can't afford it, even if they get a job and get paid compared to their salary. Just having a house, a place to stay at is more than twice the salary that they're getting. So a lot of people are very frustrated and they're facing a lot of mental health issues. So what would your suggestion be to someone like that?
Thank you so much, Dr. Ananas. This is another important question, topic of interest to every one of us. Actually, mental health is a big issue, especially amongst healthcare professionals, amongst medical students. It's a big thing, but unfortunately, in the Ethiopian context, it's not addressed properly. How I can say, if I can fairly say that. I'm sorry. I mean, some people might get it offensive, but I'm speaking the truth. At least in my time, it was not really given number one priority. I can fairly say that. Why do I say that? We had friends who committed suicide when we were medical students. We have lost our best friends. We have lost our batchmate in my batch. We have lost a very promising physician, young lady, due to suicide. She committed suicide when we were in the final year of medical school. Even our seniors, they have committed suicide. Some of them had serious mental health issues and they were not able to complete their education, or they were messed up. Okay, so mental health should be given priority amongst medical students, and each medical schools, they should make it their priority number one, and resources should be available to medical students when they are challenged. They shouldn't be stigmatized, they shouldn't be bullied, rather they shouldn't be supported. Even after you qualify as a physician, burnout is very common. Many physicians commit suicide in the US, by the way, and many people burn out and they
Yeah.
leave their specialty. They
Mm-hmm.
stopped practicing medicine at all. Interestingly, recently I met one guy when I was like, walking in the corridors of my hospital. I met this guy. I never met him. He's a physician. He said, "Hi, Dr. Mogas." He knows me. I don't know how he knew me. Maybe he saw my picture. Then I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Okay, hi, how are you?" Then we introduced each other. He said, like, I'm not gonna tell you the specialty because, like, maybe some people
Okay.
are, yeah, I don't want them to identify. So anyway, he told me his story, and his story was so fascinating. He told me he practiced something for quite a number of years, and then he stopped practicing medicine. And guess what? The reason is burnout. He said
Wow.
I couldn't do it anymore, so he stopped. He left. He said I left medicine for 2 years. Can you imagine? He just left. He walked away from hospitals for 2 years, and he had to come back. He did another specialty, which is somehow friendly. Then now he's doing that. So he has abandoned his original training, which was demanding, which was time consuming, stressful, that kind of specialty. So he abandoned it. So it's reality. It's real. Burnout is real. It happens to people. There are many people who have simply walked away. So I am happy that he did that, because, like, if he pushed himself and struggled in this dilemma, in this painful
Mm-hmm.
process, he might have ended up committing suicide,
Yeah.
like, as a physician. You give up at some point and you kill yourself. So especially certain specialties are prone to that because of how demanding the lifestyle is, how grueling the training is, and how hostile the environment is, and all that. So I should be honest. I mean, the majority of our training is so hostile to trainees, right? Medical school is not pleasant for everybody. So if you ask half of my friends who trained with me, do you want to come back to Black Line? Hell no, they might say. Some of them, no, I will never come back to Black Line.
Wow.
I know a couple of people who say that, but Fakadesilasse was not one of them. That's why I took the opportunity and became an academic staff, stayed there, somehow survived in the process. Was it like, a pleasant stay for myself? Probably not. Maybe I was strong enough. Maybe my perspective was different. So I survived it. Not so many people can do that. So it's grueling. The way we teach, the way we interact sometimes is harsh. So I want to take the opportunity to say I'm sorry if I have somehow negatively impacted you when you were under my care. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really sorry, and I mean it. It's not just for the sake of saying it, because I know, I was young. I was always. I expect people to be as strong as I am, and as forward moving as my ambitions are, and things like that. You know what I mean? I disliked medical students who are not really eager to learn. Those people who disappear from their floor rotations. I have a reason when I am a little bit tough on people, but even then I could have done it somehow differently, I would say. Now, looking back, I could have been more friendly. I could have given them a chance to sit down with me and tell me why they are doing what they are doing. And probably I could have impacted them in a more fruitful way than being tough on them. You know what I mean? We think by being tough we shape people. It may work for some time, but it may not last long, and that is not the right way to do it. So I want to apologize for those individuals whom I might probably have impacted negatively. But deep in my head, I was always eager to help people. If you
Mm-hmm.
tell me that you want to do something, I pay the price and I go extra mile. If you tell me you want to join me to come to my surgery, I fight with those people who are giving scraps. I have to make it happen by hook or crook. You know what I mean? I have to do it. It has to happen. I was like that. But at the same time, I could be tough because, like, I was like that to teach you, to help you. when you are like, when I perceive that you are missing, not interested, or like you disappear from your responsibilities, I will be tough on you. But we could have done it in a different way. And that is important for the mental well-being of our trainees, because people shouldn't fear you, right?
Yeah,
They shouldn't fear you. They should respect you. Like I said,
exactly.
when we start the discussion, I said I respect my teachers, but I am not scared of them. So our mentees or our students, they should love us, they should respect us, but they shouldn't be scared of us. And to the most of it, most medical students are scared of their attendings, right? That's the harsh reality that needs to be changed. I hope whoever is listening, and if you are responsible in teaching medical students, please try to change your approach. If
Yeah,
I'm given a second chance to be a mentor again, I would do that one.
yeah. That's
So,
very.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, those are important points. And I think as teachers, also, sometimes we focus when we teach bedsides or any form of teaching that we're engaged in. There are sometimes reasons why that person is not prepared, right? We just see that they're not prepared, but we don't know what they're going through, why they're not prepared. Just like when we go to clinic or, go to theater, and we might have some personal issue in the background, right? We might have just lost a family member, or our child is sick, something is going on, or we just had a fight with our spouse, something, because we are humans, we also have other parts of life. And when our patients are, expecting a smile or something, we're like, oh my God, like I'm going through this thing personally. But we don't have the same understanding towards our students, which should have been very easy, right? Because they're also going through something as well. So yeah, it's self-reflection is very important, and understanding that we're human and they're human as well,
Yeah.
I think will
And we
help.
have to change our approach. Most importantly, we have to change our approach. And that helps to maintain the mental health of our coworkers. It could be a colleague, it could be a junior physician, it could be a senior physician for that matter, or it could be a nurse, it could be your medical student. So if you listen to people, they have a lot of trouble in their heart. And be a person available for the betterment of somebody else, right? So instead of cursing someone, a medical student, and instead of throwing him, we were harsh. We would say, "Oh, you came late. Why did you came late? You are so disrespectful. I don't want to see you." We used to do that. That is completely wrong. But instead, I should have said, "Why are you late today? Was there any particular reason? Do you want to share it in front of the group? Or if it is personal, we'll talk about it later." We could have said that. I wish I was saying that. And probably if I am given the opportunity again, I hope I will have another opportunity to come back to Ethiopia and teach. So then at that time, definitely I will have a different approach. And this will help a lot. So
Mm.
people will trust us. When they trust us, they will come to us. So for those of you who are struggling with mental health issue, whether you are diagnosed with a certain mental health issue, or whether you have anxiety, depression, loss of a family member, or economic challenges, whatever, which is troubling yourself, your conscience, come forward to the person whom you think is gonna be helping you. So try to find that person. That's one of the advantage of having a mentor, because mentorship is not only about like do to help you through mastering mathematics, like 1 + 1 is 2. It's more than that. I can also talk about your family. I can talk about your health. I can talk about something else, your relationship stuff, blah, blah. So you might have broke up and now you are thinking about your boyfriend and you cannot focus on your study. Then if you have a mentor, they will help you pass through that process. You know what I mean? So mentorship is one of the reasons why we need it, just to maintain the mental well-being of ourselves and our students. So I think medical students, if you are challenged, residents, if you are challenged, whether it is economical, it's social, it's mental, come forward. Try to identify someone who can help you and seek help. Don't deal with it alone, because ከአንድ ብርቱ ሁለት መድኃኒቱ ይባላል. If you are in a problem in the middle of a crisis and you are trying to find a solution, most of the time you are not going to manage to find the right solution. But if you ask your friend, Probably it's just like, at the tip of their finger to give you a solution. Why don't you do this? Why don't you try this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you advise this? Why don't you go talk to someone? Blah, blah. They can guide you. And most of the time, since they are not in the crisis themselves, it's easy for them to direct you in the right direction. So seek help, okay? Don't deal with mental issues alone. It's being human. You are vulnerable. I am vulnerable. We all are vulnerable. While I was doing like, my internal medicine residency, I told you it's just like, bread and butter. But at the same time, at some point, I was kind of fatigued. I'm telling you, I'm like, because like, I had 16 years of journey and now 2 years of study, which is day and night, and now residency for another 3 years. So in the middle, if I have the fatigue, it's human, it's natural. Then I had to talk to people, I had to talk with my friends. I'm no more interested
Very
to
true.
do this stuff. What shall I do? Then people will tell you, you know what? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do this? And probably doing this differently might help. Of course, it helped. You know what I mean? Is it because Fakadesilasse was like, a weak physician or somebody who is not able to take care of the stuff which has been going on? No, you may give up at some point. You are human, you are vulnerable, and you need to seek help. Those people who seek help before it is too late will be successful in life. If you want to deal with the drama yourself, then
Yeah.
probably it's going to be by the time you come to somebody for help, it's too late.
Yeah.
So give priority for yourself, take care of yourself. Back in the days, my time, it's just the rule is strict, right? Even to be seen in the staff lounge was considered as a crime. You can
Yeah.
ask Adi, he's 3 or 4 years junior to me.
Yeah.
So during my time, I'm telling you, even being seen by your attendings in a staff lounge might be considered as a crime because you are supposed to be in the library. Why are you in a staff lounge with your
Reading all the time.
Why are you doing that? What are you doing in the staff lounge? You
Why
are
are you eating food? Go study.
drinking tea and coffee. You are supposed to be in the library, or you are supposed to be in the floor, or in the wards. We call it wards here. We say floor. You are supposed to be next to your patient. That was the mentality, right? We get scared if somebody comes while like we are having a tea or a juice or something. We always get frightened. I came through that culture. I know it. I felt it. So, in fact, like I told you, I love my teachers. I respect them. I was close to them. I would wave, even though there is some element of being
Yeah.
scared of them. Still, at the same time, I pretend, hi, Dr. Gali, and we leave the place for them. But now the culture is different. So
Yeah.
give time for yourself. If you
Mhm.
have to go home, go home. If you are from Addis, if you are fortunate like I was, go
Yeah.
to your family and detoxify. Just forget medicine. Play with your mama. Spend time with your dad.
Yeah.
Spend time with your, siblings, with your best friends. That is a therapy by itself. That helped me a lot, to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
spent few days in the dormitory. I'm not encouraging you people to abandon your dormitories, but that worked for me. I live around Manan. It was not that far. It's manageable. I can go every day. It was not super far out of the town. I could have done it, and it worked out well for my mental health because whenever I try to spend night in the dormitory, I try to sleep. Somebody is like, wants to study, so I can't sleep. The next day I'm miserable. If it is like, an exam season, I see people panicking.
Oh
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortably studying. I am in control. I have my own schedule. I am fine by myself. But like, when I go to the dormitory, people are panicking. Midnight, somebody is asking someone a note related to a certain topic. That was creating anxiety on me. That was not good. That was harsh. So it didn't work out. So some people survived in the dormitory area. They liked it. They thrived well. I didn't. So then I decided I'm not going to spend my nights
yeah.
in the dormitory, even though we had a very fancy dormitory where we had only 3 people in the room. We had a very beautiful. Our
Wow.
number was not
Had it
that.
good.
Yeah, our number was not that big enough. So, some dormitories only 2 people, only 3 people, things of that sort. So it was not that super crowded. Imagine now with the current scenario,
Oh,
30 people, 14 people, 20 people, I would have been crazy. My dear, I
right.
wouldn't, even with 3 people, I couldn't manage. You know what I mean? It didn't work out. So if something is not working out, abandon it
Yeah.
and stick with your style. So I always go to home. I know I waste some time. I better waste time by
And
going
be
to
okay.
coming back, because I can utilize my time, if the remaining time, efficiently, and instead of spending the whole night saving 2 hours out of the 24 hours and being miserable, then night long. I don't want to do that. So stick with yourself. Be yourself. Don't copy any other person. Don't compare your life with other people. Fakadesilasse is Fakadesilasse. I am who I am. Nobody will have an exact similar lifestyle, life path like that of myself. I cannot have a mirror image of a life journey that of Dr. Anania. It can't happen. So be yourself. Don't compare yourself. If you have to compare yourself, only compare it with itself. So
Yeah.
that's the key thing. Take time off, especially following exams. Okay, 1 day, 2 days, just detoxify, do some other interesting stuff, identify a hobby, try to do that, and go to the town. I know, I mean, now life is expensive. It's not gonna be easy to afford, but like, if you have the privilege, if you have the opportunity, then go outside, have fun. Especially if you have, like, some sponsors, make use of them, because we had sponsors, you know what I mean? And I never
Indeed.
cared about paying, you know what I mean? So when they ask me, come join me, let's go watch movie. Okay, I'm coming, but you are paying, of course. They pay for me.
Yeah.
And I enjoy.
Honestly,
Yeah.
you make a good point because I've seen a lot of, people in training, postgraduate training, quitting in the past few couple of years because it was very expensive for them to stay in Addis, especially the ones who are coming from regional towns. It was very expensive for them to stay in Addis because their salary was stagnant, but the economy, there was a huge inflation, so they couldn't cope up. So they had to quit in the middle of training. And I wish, like you said, if we as teachers, I'm including myself in this, if we as teachers were friends to our students, they shouldn't have done that because we could have figured out something, right? So, and I say that because I tried it when my residents in orthopedics in Gondar, they almost quit during that time. But I told them, just keep going. I'll figure out a way to get you paid, even if it means I have to pay one person. Because it's not really a lot if you think about it as seniors from what we make to pay the salary of a single resident or just give them an additional money. But it means a whole lot for them and helps them stay focused because if we don't keep producing trainees, then who's gonna treat our family members who are staying back home? Like sometimes we have to think we're all gonna benefit from this. So yeah, so I'm glad you talked about
You
that.
raised a very important point. For example, like, the majority of attending physicians in Addis Ababa are privileged, right? We have been privileged because, the salary I used to get from Blackline was nothing. Because, like, if I tell you how much my salary was, almost 17,500 something for an assistant professor. And then out of it, 35% tax would take a certain amount. And I used to live in an apartment which was provided to me by Addis Ababa University. It costed me around 2,500. So add that to that one, and then, I had an old car by then. And then when I bought that car, I took 80,000 from a credit association. So credit association would take about 2,000 or something. So when you add all those deductions, it will come to 7,000 something. That was the salary I used to get from Balak. Would I afford? And the apartment was in Boli, Bole Mini, right? Just the apartments next to the H. I used to live there. So imagine when you are living in that neighborhood, imagine the restaurants and everything, they
Oh
cost you
yeah.
more. The lifestyle costs you more. And when I am meeting your brother and his gangs, obviously we spend more money, right? So anyway, how did I afford it? Just because I was privileged to do some surgeries during my spare time in private institutions. So if we come together, let's say Department of Surgery, for five, 6, 10 of us, sit down. Okay, our resident is gonna quit. He's gonna quit because he has family. He cannot afford the education expenses and the rent payment and all that. So he can't afford life. He's about to quit and leave. So instead of that, why don't we contribute 1,000 per month? Imagine if you are earning 50,000, 60,000 from a private hospital and you give 1,000 away, and then you are not doing it by yourself alone. 10 of us coming together, it's going to be 10,000. Imagine that person who is about to quit
Exactly.
would finish his education. Not only that, this person will have a debt in his head. It's not just he has to pay us back,
100%.
but it's
Hmm.
just like a commitment in life to do the same thing for other people coming after him or are coming after her. That is doable, by the way. That's what is I am realizing on social media, because people are giving me only $10. That's what
Hmm.
I ask people. Just give me $10, and I have 100 followers. It's gonna be
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
When it gets translated to Ethiopia, it's gonna be 182,000
Yeah.
dir.
That's not
You know
small
what I
money.
mean? So
Hmm.
it seems simple and it seems doable. It's doable, but when you come together, you can solve it. All this can happen only we have a mentality of
Hmm.
mentorship, and only if we start caring about our trainees.
Yeah.
And I believe the majority of the educators do care about their candidate. They don't know how to do it. Probably,
Exactly.
yeah, we don't know. We never knew how to
Yeah.
do it. You know what I mean? But we do have the resource, and it is
Yeah.
doable. I hope we can organize those kind of things to
I hope so
assist
too.
our junior physicians.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart when some people come with an inbox in LinkedIn asking me for money to pay for the USMLE examination. I can't do that. Number one, I can't afford it. Number two, I can't do it at this point. I don't have the resources. If I pay for you, then that means I have to commit myself to help others as well. I don't want to just do it for one person and say no to others. It's gonna be bad, right? So if I don't have the resources, then I'm gonna turn you around. But
Mhm.
I always think about it, and I hope we will be able to do it at some point, to
Yeah.
come up with funding so that something will be available for junior individuals who cannot afford to pay for the USMLE. It could be PLAB, it could be something else. I hope we can do it. I hope it can be done. The
Yeah.
only thing is that we should sit down and figure out potential resources and then come up with
Yeah.
solutions. So we have to do it,
Yeah.
and that's important. And that's important.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so good. So we've talked for quite a while now. Very interesting stuff. Everything you've said is very educational, very inspiring. I'm definitely 100% sure that it's going to change somebody's life and inspire them. So lastly, what would you like to see in the next 20, 30 years? I mean, maybe 10 years if we're lucky, but if not, at least 20, 30 years in the healthcare system in Ethiopia, and maybe even globally. How can we integrate ourselves better? Because you've seen different setups, whether it's in Europe, in Asia, like India, and now the US. So, how can we be more globally integrated, whether it's in our training or in like just practice? And just what can be changed in Ethiopia.
Thank you so much. It's a very important question again. And here is how I see things. Access to education is very important. Access to quality medical education is also very important. Now, our country has expanded medical education. So in my time, there were only three medical schools. And then when I was about to finish, others started showing up. Haromaya started, Hawassa started, Mekelle started. And now, guess where we are? People have told me there is a medical school in Meddawalabu. There is one in Fiche, I heard recently. And Wallagga also, I think, if I'm not wrong, Ambo University. And I don't know if it is Wallagga or Ambo and other places. Some of Abed Dabra Brahan, these are like, new things coming up. And also from the private sector, when I was around, it was only Hayat Medical School and Sante was coming up. And now I hear there are also other Africa Medical School has medical education. And there is another one, a Catholic school, the Catholic Church has its own. I forgot the name. Is around Garment. The location is around Garment. I forgot the name. So there are many medical schools coming up, Jijiga and all that. So these are all new, Dredo University and all that. So it's exciting. But at the same time, quality is very important, and quality medical education should be accessed by any medical student wherever they are training, whether it is a private institution or a government institution. Healthcare standards should be maintained as a country. That is how US tries to maintain. They came up with USMLE for a reason. They just want to standardize everything. You come from Canada, you came from Africa, you came from Kenya, Ethiopia, Japan, they don't care. They give you standardized examination, which is USMLE. That's why they do it. So when you pass through their USME, step 1, step 2 CK, step 2 CS, and step 3, they, whether you like it or not, they make you familiar with their healthcare system, and they standardize the care. Everybody will have the same. We will be assessed and judged by the same standard. So I wish to see something like that in Ethiopia. So what am I contributing with that regard? So I want to tell you this. So when I said I am doing certain stuff quietly, unnoticed, is one of the things by engaging with medical students. How am I engaging with medical students? I don't know if you are familiar with this or not.
Mhm.
So we came up with what is known as website. It's almost the equivalent of bedside
Mhm.
teaching, website with Dr. FSH. We started it about 3 years ago or something like that. So we had about 5 or 6 webinars. And then for some reasons, the guys, the medical students who were working with me, they were almost finishing their medical school. Then we get interrupted. Now there are a new energetic group of medical students who are working with me. So then we restarted the situation. So at least me as a person, I can teach medical students just like I'm doing the conversation with you using the website or a web. That's the reason why we call it website. So until now, I have encountered with many students from multiple medical schools, not only from AAU. So from all over the country, medical students join my website teaching. So now we have done almost 11 sessions up to now. So we do it every 2 weeks. So we pick a topic, for example, a chest pain, how to approach a patient with chest pain. So I create a case, hypothetical case. So a 60, 17-year-old male patient, chest pain of 2 years, 2 days, 2 hours duration, came to Black Line. So I try to make it somehow relevant to the Ethiopian context. Then I will be presenting the case, they will be discussing the case, and at the end of the day, there will be an academic discussion. It's just like, conducting a bedside session. So even though I left my country, I haven't left my country. I'm still giving back. I'm still teaching. My job was to teach medical students. So I'm still teaching medical students. So my plan and goal is to engage other professionals as well. So orthopedic surgeons, I have Dr. Anania. So neurosurgeons, internists, neurologists, nephrologists. I have invited people actually on LinkedIn to join me. So when we grow, definitely people would be interested to join us. When they join us, I am sitting in America, but all the medical students throughout Ethiopia do have equal access to my knowledge, to my experience sharing. So if you are sharing your experience sitting where you are in the US, then they will have equal access without meeting you in person. They will have a quality education in orthopedic surgery, and all of them will have equal opportunity. Because, like, when we were physically in Ethiopia, were only accessible to Gondar medical students. When I was back home in Ethiopia in Addis Ababa, I was only accessible to medical students from AAU, nobody else. But now the opportunity is big. Okay, so globalization, social media, connection, internet is giving us this privilege. So equal access is very important, and I wish in the coming 5 to 10 years, I wish all the medical students, be it outside of Addis, inside Addis, be it governmental or private medical students, should get equal access. That would take us to the next topic. What do we aspire to see in the changes in healthcare? I think healthcare should be given priority number one. We don't have any choice. It's not because I'm a physician and I'm not promoting my profession. It's a must. I mean, you have to invest in health. It should be your priority, probably next to defense or prior to defense. Healthcare should be your priority number one in terms of budgeting, investment, and all that. It is not luxury. When you are keeping your citizens safe, if they are safe, if they are healthy, if they are productive, if they are safe, if they are healthy, they will become productive. When they are productive, the country grows. You will have a healthy soldier who can protect, defend the nation. So, in many ways, health should be given priority number one, and I hope the government should do that. And when we say that professionals should be respected, they should be given priority number one. They should be well compensated, and they shouldn't be jobless. Because, like if you see by any standard, I don't think Ethiopia has achieved the goal set by WHO and other big institutions. Hey, የሐኪም ፔሸንት ጥመራ የሚባለው patient to physician ratio, I don't think we have achieved it.
Far from
Let
it.
alone Ethiopia, even America hasn't achieved it.
Yeah.
And I know America is a big country and the population is bigger, but even then, with all the resources, they haven't achieved. With all the brain drain coming to the US, they haven't achieved. They are still struggling.
Yep.
There is a still shortage. So there is shortage in Ethiopia. And on top of that, physicians are jobless. What does that mean? Then some of them, they change their profession, as you mentioned earlier. Some of them have become pilots, so abandoning medicine. I would never think like a physician would dare to change their profession and go for something else after 7.5 years of training. They must have been desperate enough to do that. You know what I mean? So if they chose to become a pilot, they should have done it 7 years ago. Why should they do it now? You know what I mean? It's just a desperate move. But I'm glad it worked out positively for them, because that's also a high-paying job, as a privileged job, as it has its own prestige. But we are not talking about one or two people. What about the rest who are not able to do that? Or what about the rest who do not want to do that, who do not choose to do that? So we should be mindful of that. So I think it's not because we are physicians that we are advocating for physicians. We need physicians. We need nurses. We need lab technicians. We need all the support staff in a hospital situation so that the system becomes functional. So I think priority needs to be given, and people need to be compensated the way they should be compensated. And compensation may come in different forms. It may not be, if the country cannot afford paying a physician 100,000 a month, give me another privilege. Give me at least a house. Give me a condominium, and make me pay only 500 birr or 1,000 birr per month, and let the government run the apartment. So I told you, I was running in one of the apartments which AAU gave me. It was 2,500. It was affordable. At that time, condominiums were 20,000, 10,000. So for me, it was an advantage. It was something which I can afford in a very beautiful neighborhood. So that by itself would encourage me not to leave AAU, because I have a big privilege. Who would dare to leave Bole and the surroundings of Bole for something else? So it will tie you around with what you do. So you can give privilege like that. You can make it possible for physicians to own a car. Let me tell you, people who have lesser training, but working for another institutions, since their institutions are willing to give them loan, they are affording all these fancy electric cars these days, because I know close family and all that. What about a physician? Does a physician have that kind of privilege? Is the Ministry of Health adjusting those kind of things? If there is something, I don't know. So excuse my ignorance. But to my knowledge, and based on the grievances I see and hear, I don't think that is a reality. So make it possible for physicians to own a car. And of course, deduct money from their salary without affecting them much. So this kind of privilege will encourage you to work for your nation, to stay in your nation. But all these things are impossible. Okay, you ask for a salary raise. Oh, this is not possible, and you are not special. Don't bullshit around. Shut up. Okay, I will shut up. And you ask for a privilege to get, like, affordable housing. Oh no, you're not special. Just shut up. Okay, I'll shut up. And then you ask for a privilege to be able to afford buying a car. They shut you up. You will shut up. What are the consequences? People will start eyeing something else. So they will come to you, they will come to me, they will ask about your assembly journey, and they plan to leave you alone. So that shouldn't happen. As far as healthcare system is concerned, my fantasy world and my my ambition is to see whatever is being delivered in the US, to see whatever being delivered to our patients in the US being delivered to our patients in Ethiopia. That's my dream. It will happen. A lot have changed. A lot have changed. The private sector is doing it, even in government hospitals. Something which are not thinkable in the past are happening. I'm so happy, but there is a lot to be done in terms of, like, how the system is run, how efficient people are, how productive the physicians are, how efficient the nurses are, the attitude toward the patients, serving patients, this kind of thing, how a clinic is run, how coordinating things are, how an imaging service is run. These things, they need to change. I'm not applying for any vacancy, but one of my dreams and my fantasy, I'm not wishing for a high paying job or highly powerful office or anything. If you ask me, and if God allows it, I would always would want to run one of, like, the main medical schools for some time at least. Like,
Oh wow,
that's my, if I do it in my fantasy, if I
that would
can
be
do it,
nice.
if I can give back, can I run that place? I
Mm.
don't know. I may be successful to do it, or I may be destined to failure. I know there are many great leaders. They have been doing it. They are still doing it. I'm proud of them. They have left their own mark. But as a person, if you ask my ambition, my fantasy, like I said, I'm not applying for a vacancy, but I wish, in my fantasy world, this has to be done. It has to be done this way, and has to be done this way, not that way, so that we can achieve this and achieve that. I wish that can happen at some point, and this is my dream.
That's great. Oh my gosh, I hope it happens. I think it would be great.
We will see. At least I can come back and work as a part-time, or, like, as a
Yeah,
support
maybe you
staff,
can work as a consultant or something.
as a
Yeah,
consultant, or
that
I'm
would be
not
great.
high maintenance. Like, if I get a group of medical students and residents who can spend time with me, I will be more than happy. I will feel privileged to help
Mm.
them out, to teach them out whatever I know. I don't know everything, but there is something which I have gathered over the years, and I would be more than happy to share that. And most importantly, to be able to reconnect with your own
Oh
patients
yeah,
in your own native language. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So with the maturity you have now, I want to do it with my own language. አባዬ እማዬ እያልሽ like የተጨነቀውን የኔ ወንድም የኔ እህት በምን ሰፖርት ላድርግ፣ እንዴት ልርዳህ፣ በቋንቋቸው ተረድተሻቸው ማለት ነው አይደል? ፔሸንቶችሽን ድሮም
Yeah.
እኮ አደርጋለሁ፣ ግን ድሮም
Now you know
ከማረገውም
better.
በላይ
Mm.
በደንብ ኢንቨስት አድርገሽው ማለት ነው። ገብቶሻል? ያንግ ስትሆኚ you are always running አይደል? like
Oh
you are
yeah.
ምናምን። and now with the level of maturity I have now, I just want to inspire the young, my juniors, in a right way, and at the same time I want to do it the way it should be done, in a better way, better than I did in the past ለማለት ነው። And that's my dream. I hope it will happen. I love my country. I love Black Lion. I really love. I love those two things. I mean, like Ethiopia is definitely, there is nothing, you cannot really compare your home country with any other thing. And at the
Yeah.
same time, my home institution, Black Lion Hospital, is a place where I advanced my career. That is a place where Fakadesilasse was formed as a professional, as a person, because more than half of my lifetime was spent in that compound. So it's
Yeah.
close to my heart. It is dear to my heart. So I hope we will be able to give back, and I hope it will happen. We'll do it
Yeah.
together.
Oh,
Don't
more than
forget.
happy.
Don't forget.
I'm
We
here
can
for
go
the
to
ride.
Gondar as well because we are from Gondar originally. I mean, I know,
I
but you
know.
did your
Yeah.
training in Black Lions, though. You have a credit there as well. So
Yeah.
I will be more than happy to help each and every single institution in Ethiopia
Yeah.
because it belongs to us, right? And each
100%.
institution should be supported. And one of the things I wouldn't like to see would be these ill-intentioned competitions between institutions.
Mm.
Sometimes you see that, right? So yeah, it's always good. Competition is good. I have an institution which I am running. You have an institution which you are running. We can compete in a healthy way, and when it is needed, we have to collaborate, help each other. But sometimes I see ill intentions. Oh, I mean, it's only Black Lion. No, I don't want to do that. So it's only Millennium Medical College, or it's only Hayat, it's only Korea, it's only Gondar, it's only Jemma. No, we don't have to have this institutional tribalism. You know what I mean? We don't need that. So if I am invited to Gondar, I'm more than happy to help out the Gondar as an institution. If I am invited to collaborate with colleagues in Jimma, I should be more than happy. As much as I am excited to give back to Black Lion, I should have equal excitement to work for other institutions because eventually they belong to Ethiopia and they should help each other. They should support each other. And I think those things will change
Yeah.
for
100%.
the better.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Fikadesilasse. I mean, it's been amazing, amazing 2 hours and something. This is definitely going to be a two-part because I don't want to put out the whole 2 hours and people miss out on something. So I'm going to take it down to parts and probably release it that way. But thank you so much for giving us your time, for coming here, for inspiring a lot of people, for giving us an insight, for sharing your own experience, and authentically. You're a very authentic person, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, keep doing the great work and hope to have you back with more questions next time for sure.
I'll be more than happy. Obviously, get ready to come to my sessions as well, to my platform. It could be TikTok Live. We can sit together and you'll answer questions related to orthopedic problems or anything, actually, any medical problem for that matter. The way we are trained in undergrad years, makes us acquainted with the majority of the disease process. And most importantly, since you are one of the renowned orthopedic surgeons who has managed to establish a new, orthopedics department, a new orthopedics residency training in Gondar, I have never said that to you, but I'm proud of you because I know,
Oh,
because Azi is my good friend, he's a dear brother to me. So I know about you, you know what I mean? So I know what you have been done, what you have accomplished. It's an honor because women hasn't been given opportunities in the past, but things are changing and they are changing for the better. And you guys have proved the system wrong that women can be great leaders and they can do it and they can even do it even better than us. You know what I mean? So you are one of them. You are an icon. So I would definitely be more than happy to have you in my platform as well. I'm more than happy and I feel privileged to spend whatever time we have spent together. It felt as if we talked for 10 or 20 minutes, to be honest
I
with you. It
know.
was engaging, it was exciting. And I talk too much sometimes, excuse me for that.
Oh no. You have so much to say. That's the most important thing. A lot of people just talk for the sake of talking. You're not like, you got stuff to say.
So it was a big honor. It is a big honor. Thank you so much for the privilege.